Okay, this final video is going to look at reports then, and reports are basically a way of presenting this information that we find in our queries in a quite nice and logical way that could be printed or just displayed on screen depending on how it was used. So this is kind of really the information output side of the database. We've got the process we've set up the process here with the query, and we want to present this information now in a kind of nice format. So that's where reports come in. So you can probably guess where we're going to go next, because we're going to create something. So we're off to the create option. We've been working our way left to right. Well, the final step in terms of database design is the creation of reports. Okay, now I don't mind how you do this. I think let's go with Report Wizard in this particular example. So let's go to Report Wizard at the top. You probably won't get that message. Press open. Now you can base your report on the table, which would just basically display all the cars on one sheet of paper or over several sheets of paper. Well, now we want to base it on one of our queries. So let's put it on one of our basic ones, the search by make query, for example. Okay. Now on here you can choose a list of fields within that query. And remember, you chose which fields you put into that query. You can choose which fields do you actually want to display on this report. So I think in my one, I just want to find makes, I want to show the year, and I want to show the price of the car. But I'm going to leave those two off. But it's entirely up to you, and it depends obviously what the purpose is of the information that you're trying to produce is for. So with that done, I'm going to press next. In terms of layout on this tab, we'll come back to this when we do more complex queries. We'll just leave this for now and run our way through the wizard. Here, this is quite a useful option. So for example, if I've got 10 cars in this in this query that come back as search results, I might want to put them into a particular order, which could be useful. So let's order them by make and ascending down the alphabet. So let's press next again. Layout, again, we won't worry about this at the moment in terms of we'll just stick with the default layout. We won't worry about that for the time being. And I think with this particular query, I think definitely portrait orientation is the way to go. So let's press next. The final thing is just to change the name up here. So RPT for report, search by make, and we do want to preview it straight away. So let's click on finish. Okay. Now, obviously, for this report to display, we need to give it some data so it knows what to query and what to show. So make of car. So let's do Ford and press OK on that, and you can see that I have the makings of a kind of piece of information here, a presentable output that could be printed or displayed on screen. And I've got all my cars. It was a bit silly of me to just kind of order it by make, because they're all Ford, obviously, so that's not going to make a difference. Maybe a better one would have been to do it by price. Now I'm in print preview at the moment because this is the final step. You might want to print this as a piece of information for someone to make use of. We're just going to come out of it and close print preview. One thing I'm just going to show you briefly, and you'll get more familiar with this when we do more complex reports later on, is the design of this report. And you can see on here we're in design view at the minute. So design view, report view just runs back through and goes into that mode. So we want to stick that into design view, and this is again where you can customize this piece of information in terms of its formatting, color schemes, text that you've used, etc., to make it fitting with your house style. So colors, for example, at the top, you could change the title to make that a bit more suitable. So make of car report. Okay, so you get the idea, and you can kind of rearrange this report and list things as and where you like. Okay, so you can spend a little bit of time on that and just setting that up and setting up reports for each of the queries that you've produced in your database. I'd do three just to run through that process a couple of times so it sticks. Okay, done.